Welcome to Complete BS, the official podcast of couch coaches everywhere. Not just football. It's every sport that ruins your parlay, wrecks your fantasy week, and still brings you back for more. Buzzer beaters, blown leads, and brackets and flames. Yeah, we're all over it. Unfiltered takes, armchair analysis, and enough bold opinions to fill a playbook. Hosted by Brien Schmauch, sports junkie, the Saban of stats and your official voice of I could coach better than that. Let's go.
Welcome back, Couch Coach Nation. I'm here with AV. Let's talk some football.
Brian, let's start the countdown with Boise State at 25. Ashton Genty's off to the NFL. They still got 7 starters back on offense, including quarterback Maddox Madsen. Mountain West isn't exactly a gauntlet, but they've got a huge credibility test at Notre Dame.
Yeah, that Notre Dame game is a huge test for them. They've got to show that they can play at the Power 4 level, just like they did last year against Oregon. It was a 3-point loss, but it let everybody know that they can play at this level. If they can do that at Notre Dame, either win or lose close, it lets everyone know that they can be in the playoff conversation for that group of 5 spot.
Brian, let's move on to Michigan. New offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey loves to throw the ball, and now they've got 5-star freshman Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, that's why I've got them at 24. They've been all about the run for years, but now with Lindsey and Underwood, they're going to throw the ball, and are they ready for this change in identity? They do have a really strong back 7 with Ernest Hausman, Jair Hill, and Rod Moore. The big question is, how will they fare in early road trips at Oklahoma and at Nebraska? Don't forget about the end of the season finale against Ohio State.
Flipping the script is Nebraska. Dylan Raiola's a quarterback. They have a ton of transfers, an offensive line, a wide receiver. This isn't the old school Cornhuskers.
Not at all. And I've got them at 23 because they're going to throw the ball all over the place. If they get past Michigan in early September, they could be off to an 8-0 start.
Oklahoma's a fascinating one. 6-7 last year. Now they bring in Ben Arbuckle from Washington State, along with his quarterback who threw for over 3,100 yards.
Yeah, John Mateer, 3,100 yards. That's why they're at number 22 for me. The combination of him and Arbuckle, they can really inject life into the offense. Add Jaden Ott, who is an electric running back transfer that came in from Cal. But their schedule is a mountain late in the year. They've got to come out firing 5-0.
Then there's Indiana. Last year they came out of nowhere. 11 wins, playoff berth. You buying that again?
At 21, I'm buying that because I'm buying Kurt Cignetti and his culture. The defense last year was ranked 2nd in the country, but it was against a really soft schedule. It's not going to be so easy this year. Add in transfer quarterback from Cal, Fernando Mendoza, and he's going to keep them in the top 25.
Louisville had 9 wins last season, but man, that defense. Can Miller Moss and Isaac Brown score enough to keep them in the mix?
They're number 20 on my list, and it's all about shootouts for them. Moss and Brown together, they can lead the offense, but that defense is not very good. They've got a big game against Clemson in November.
I see Texas Tech at 19 in your rankings. That's a lot of transfers, especially in the trenches.
Yeah, Joey McGuire went shopping. Over 20 transfers total, including 3 on the offensive line and 3 on the defensive line. The Big 12 is wide open. But their mid-season road swing at Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, and BYU is brutal.
Ole Miss at 18. You've got an inexperienced sophomore quarterback who you think could win a Heisman down the road.
Austin Simmons. We'll be talking about him this time next year as a 2026 Heisman contender. Ole Miss has had back-to-back 10-win seasons. They start 5 of their first 6 games at home, but they do have a really tough schedule later on with Georgia, Oklahoma, and South Carolina.
So Kansas State at 17. They're opening the year in Dublin. That's a cool start.
It is a cool start, and Kansas State's attack starts on the ground with their running back, Dylan Edwards, and quarterback Avery Johnson. They're going to miss BYU and Arizona State on their schedules, 2 of the tougher Big 12 teams. Depth could be an issue for them. They got to avoid those injuries, and they're going to be in the mix.
LSU at 16. Even with a stacked roster, you're not sold on Brian Kelly.
Nope. Brian Kelly is one of the most overrated coaches in college football. They've got talent everywhere, but you can always count on a Brian Kelly team to lose 3 to 4 games. They've started the last 5 season openers with losses. This year, they play Clemson. Make it 6 in a row.
And SMU at 15. Kevin Jennings getting some Heisman buzz already.
Rhett Lashley's offense is perfect for him. Their secondary is a real strength for the defense. The front 7's mostly new. They do have an early test against Baylor out of conference. Late in the year, they face the top 3 ACC teams in Clemson, Miami, and Louisville.
The University of Miami at number 14. Carson Beck takes over for Cam Ward, who's off to the NFL. Tell me about it.
Beck is talented, but he's no Cam Ward. Cam Ward was the type of player that he'll throw the team on the back and will them to victory. Miami starts early in the season with games against Notre Dame and Florida, so we're going to know a lot about them. But Miami also has Mario Cristobal, who, like Brian Kelly, is one of those coaches that gets the least out of so much talent. Miami also is known for dropping a game late. The schedule's soft in November, but hey, it is Miami.
Iowa State at number 13, B. A lot returning on offense, but that defense, not so much.
Now, the defense is trash, but Rocco Beck last year threw for 3,500 yards. The defense, man, we've talked about them. This is Big 12 football. Throw the ball, score a lot of points. They're going to have to win games 45-42.
You got Illinois all the way at 12. Starters returning all over the field in a schedule that's manageable. Tell me about them.
Last year's Cinderella was Indiana. This year, for me, it's Illinois. They've got starters all over the place. The schedule is soft late. If they can survive a mid-season stretch at Indiana, USC, and Penn State, they could go on a tear and crash the playoff conversation.
Outside the top 10, it's unbelievable to say, you have Alabama at 11. 9 wins must not be good enough in Tuscaloosa.
Not even close for Alabama Crimson Tide fans. Listen, the defense is loaded. They've got talent all over the place, but they've got a 4-game run where they go Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, South Carolina. Those 4 games are going to decide if they're in the playoff hunt. And then there's always the Iron Bowl at the end of the year.
And inside the top 10, you have the University of Florida. The DJ Lagway hype train is leaving the station.
DJ Lagway is the answer to every Gator's prayer. He's the best quarterback they've had since Tim Tebow. They've got an elite offensive line, a really young, explosive running back. They start the year with games against LSU, Miami, and Texas. If they go 2-1 in that stretch, they're playoff material.
And the University of South Carolina, you have at number 9. They did end the season last year with 6 straight wins, but only one starter comes back on that front 7. Could be a problem.
Yeah, they've got 3 of my favorite players in college football. Quarterback Lenora Sellers, wide receiver do-everything Nick Harbor, and defensive end Dylan Stewart. But that late schedule is nasty. They're going to need another end-of-year run in order to be in the playoff conversation, at least 4-2 down the stretch.
And at number 8, you have Georgia Bulldogs. They're a young team, but they always recruit elite, B.
Yeah, Kirby Smart reloads better than just about anybody in the country. They've got talent all over the field, even if it's not experienced talent. They've only got 4 true road games. They get Texas and Alabama at home. Even with 2 losses, they still can be in the playoff conversation. Georgia's got a resume over the last 5 or 6 years that will lead them into that conversation.
And at number 7, you have Arizona State. Last year, they were surprise champs. They're not surprising anybody this year.
No, they're going to be the hunted. You've got quarterback Sam Levitt, wide receiver Jordan Tyson, who I think is one of the most slept-on players in college football. They returned 9 starters on their defense. Running back, they're going to have to go to committee. They're not going to replace Cam Scatabo with just one player. The biggest challenge that they're going to have is they're going to take everybody's best shot.
All right, and at number 6, we have the Oregon Ducks. Big Ten champs last year, their first year, B, but they have to replace Dylan Gabriel with Dante Moore. What do you see?
Yeah, they've got a lot of transfers on this team. Dante Moore's development is going to be everything and determine how their season goes. They've also added Tulane running back transfer Mekhi Hughes. They've got a midseason stretch with Penn State and Indiana. That's going to define their year.
All right, we're now to the top 5, and at number 5, you have the Ohio State University. New defensive coordinator Matt Patricia, B. Is he going to fit?
Yeah, that's an interesting move for me. He's coming from the NFL. He hasn't coached in college football since he was a grad assistant back in 2003. They've got talent, stars all over the place. Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, they're everybody's All-Americans. But they got big holes up front on both the offensive and defensive line. They start with Texas. They end with Michigan. Bookends to the season.
And your number 4 team in the country is Notre Dame. Last season, B, they lost to Northern Illinois. Then they made the title game.
Yeah, they've got the best running back in the country in Jeremiah Love. 4 starters return on the offensive line. That ground attack is one of the best in the country. They're going to need that ground game because C.J. Carr is inexperienced at quarterback. We're going to find out a lot about them early. They open the year with Miami, and they also face Texas A&M in September.
Coming in at number 3, maybe the most talented team in the country, you have Texas. Is it Arch Manning's show?
It's going to have to be. He's got to win. The expectations are huge. The running back room is stacked. One of the better running back rooms, 1-2 punch in the country. But the defense, that's where they're going to win games. The defense, I think, is the best in the country. But the road schedule is brutal. They've got Ohio State, Florida, Georgia, and don't forget, they play Oklahoma in Dallas for the Red River rivalry.
And the number 2 team in the country on the BS poll is Penn State University. B, can they finally beat Ohio State?
I think that's the question every Penn State is asking. They've got everything that you're looking for. Drew Aller at quarterback, Nick Singleton, Katron Allen running the ball. They've got All-Americans on the defense, new defensive coordinator that they took from Ohio State, Jim Knowles. Now they just got to prove it on the field.
Coming in at number 1, if you've been paying attention, it's surprise to no one. BS is high on the Clemson train. Cade Klubnik is a preseason All-American quarterback for you, B. Tell everybody why you love Clemson so much.
Clemson's loaded, offensively and defensively. Of course, you've got Klubnik. They've got 4 starters returning on the offensive line. They've got a trio of receivers. Question on offense is, can they find someone to replace Phil Maffa running the ball? Defensively, they've got 2 All-Americans on their defensive line. They've got an All-American candidate at linebacker. They've got an All-American candidate in the secondary. They're loaded. They've got Tom Allen as their new defensive coordinator. He came in from Penn State. Can they put it all together? I believe they can. They start the year with LSU. They finish with South Carolina. And in November, they've got an ACC showdown with Louisville that could determine who's going to the ACC championship game. That's your top 25 preseason college football poll. I'm Brien Schmauch, and this is Complete BS.
Thanks for listening to Complete BS. Be sure to subscribe, share, and follow us online. And tell us what you think of this episode. Use hashtag CouchCoachNation, and let's keep the conversation going.